Hello, boys and girls. Miss Cheryl's here. It's time for some music and a story today in the Bible. So the one today is about a man called Saul. Now, he was a Pharisee, and that meant he didn't like anybody that was a Christian and who loved Jesus. In fact, he was so mean, he wanted to find them all and put them in prison or even kill them. So he got this idea in his head. He thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the high priest and ask him to give me a letter that says, you give me permission to go find these Christian people who know Jesus, and we're going to put them in chains, and we're going to bring them back here and stick them all in prison. And he even would like to kill them if he could. So the high priest thought that was a good idea. So he wrote the letter and gave Paul that, said, now you carry this with you, and then when you get there, then they will give you permission to hunt them up and find them. So on the way to there, he had three guys walking with him. They were going together. He got part of the way there, and all of a sudden, you know what? It was just a great big old flashlight. Big, humongous light. So bright, it shone right down on Saul, and Saul fell to his knees. And he heard a voice. Coming from the big, bright light, he heard a voice that said, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? And Saul was scared. He said, who are you, Lord? And the Lord answered him. He said, I am Jesus. I am the one you're persecuting. Now you rise up and you go to the city, and when you get there, you'll be told what to do. So Saul got up on his feet. But you know what? He was standing up, but he couldn't see. His eyes were like blinded. He couldn't see anything. So the men who were with him had to take him by the elbow or help him walk so he wouldn't fall down or run into things, and helped him walk all the way. So when he got there, there was a man there. He was there 3 days. And then the Lord sent this man named Ananias to see Saul. And when he got there in the room where Saul was staying, he went up to Saul and he put his hands on Saul's face and his eyes. And when he did, Saul's eyes opened up. He could see again. So he told him, and that was such a miraculous thing for Saul, that this man who he would have killed because he loved Jesus, he came to him, put his hands, and there was a miracle. The Lord healed Saul's eyes. And so that made a believer out of Saul. So because of that, now he was a changed man. Saul also loved Jesus. So he wanted to go out and tell everybody he saw about who this Jesus was. Jesus is the Son of God, and he is now a believer. So there is a song about that. The reason Paul wanted to go tell everybody now is because he wanted everybody to know who Jesus was. And that's what this song says. And we have our other boys and girls with us going to help us sing. So they're going to start, find our boys ready, and you get ready to sing, because they're going to say, everybody ought to know. All right, here we go. Ought to know, everybody ought to know, everybody ought to know who Jesus is. Everybody ought to know, everybody ought to know, everybody ought to know who Jesus is. He's the Everybody ought to know. Everybody ought to know. Everybody ought to know who Jesus is. On the cross he died for sinners, and his blood is white as snow. Loving, living, coming Savior, he's the one you ought to know. Everybody ought to know. Everybody ought to know. Everybody ought to know who Jesus is. Everybody ought to know. Everybody ought to know. Everybody ought to know who Jesus is. Who Jesus is. Who Jesus is. Jesus is. Yes, who Jesus is. We want to tell everybody we know. So when you find people who don't know Jesus, tell them, won't you? And until that time next week, bye-bye.